Let's go raise the stakes, let's go raise the stakes with Dietary and Carrie L-E-T-T-T. Let's go. Oh.
Let's go.
Let's go. What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are awake.
Oh, whoa, we're going to play it again. There we go. You want to listen to it again, JT?
Sure, let's go.
How's it going, buddy?
It's going good, man. I'm in a good mood. I'm feeling good. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Thankful, grateful, blessed, excited because JT, Poco Moonshine family is coming out to the world famous Montello Theater, the homestead, tomorrow.
Wake up and roll out.
Why are you coming out,
why
JT?
Am I coming out there? Why am I coming out there?
I got my new shirt on. I'm excited about a lot of things. Yeah, why are you coming out there? Besides, we're good buddies and we want to hang out. What else are we going to be doing?
Well, yeah, that's just the tip of the iceberg. The rest of that iceberg is we're going to be knocking on some more strangers' doors, and we're going to see who lets us in their house so we can cook them another carnivore meal, and it's going to be awesome. I'm excited. Carrie says he's going to knock on the first door.
I'm going to knock on every door until we get someone. You have one. JT has one. I need one. I need a notch on my belt. And I said this before, but there's a lot of new people on here. I have literally knocked on thousands of doors trying to get people interested in steaks. My first job out of high school, I was a door-to-door steak salesman.
Evidence, man. It's all full circle, man. You couldn't make this stuff up, Carrie.
Full circle, yeah. But I mentioned this yesterday, JT, on a live stream. I'm like, I can't believe I don't feel like I'm that old as a carnivore. I'm 43. That was when I was like 14. So we're talking that was like 29 years ago. That's crazy how fast time goes. But anyways, my point was 29 years ago, I think I had a lot easier job talking to people about steaks door to door. People are less likely now. They don't want to mess around with knocking on doors, no soliciting signs, things like that. So it's going to be fun. It's going to add to the drama.
How many times did they get Carrie and JT to be soliciting at their door? That's the question, man. I think that's the deal breaker. We're not your average solicitors.
Right. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm excited, and hopefully, I don't think we're gonna get skunked, man. I got a good feeling, man. There's just no way it can't go right. So
we're not gonna stop. We're not gonna stop. And if it's like midnight, we're gonna go to the grocery store and we're gonna stand in the meat section and wait for someone to come, and we're just gonna be like, "You're not buying this. We got it, and we're gonna cook it for you, and that's it. You don't have a say in the matter. Let's go."
Either that, or we're gonna go stand in the vegan store and we're just gonna start talking facts.
One other really fun idea. I was going to call you about this yesterday. I was thinking this is for another video, but my good Amish friends, they're the coolest people.
I wanted to meet them. I've watched your videos you've done with them.
They live by the mantra of joy, J-O-Y, Jesus, others, yourself, and they're the most joyful people I've ever met. However, they've let me film with them several times. I'm always respectful. Don't get their faces in it. That's the tricky part of it. But I was thinking this yesterday, JT. I was like, what if we went and cook them a steak dinner? That would be fun.
That would be fun. I'm down for that. I've never like been to an Amish community, let alone had a dinner or a meal with some Amish folks. So I think that'd be eye-opening. And then we get to see not only how they live and their demeanor, but we get to share a good meal and talk some carnivore. I think it's awesome, man.
It'll be fun. And if you bring a bunch of your bucket hats, could you imagine we convert them over? Bunch of Amish bucket hats.
Yeah, like, take me to your Amish leader. I want to crown him, man.
So this was like 3 years ago. They invited my whole family over, Jen, the girls, and I, for dinner, and it was a proper dinner. There were some, it was. I guess I would define it as a proper human diet dinner. There were vegetables, but they were all natural. They weren't like riddled with pesticides and stuff like that.
Right?
Yeah, and it was mostly meat. It was the first time I ever had venison. They made venison meatballs, and it was incredible. It was so good. Yeah, it was surreal. Sitting at a table in the dark. There's gas. They don't have any electricity. It's gas lanterns.
That's gonna be awesome. I can't wait. Yeah, I'm sure they would invite us.
Oh, there's no phone, right? So it's interesting. On the way to my dad's house, it's like an hour drive. I go right past their house, and so every time we're like really good friends with them. They're insisting. They're like, you better stop here when you're going by. So I'll stop. I've randomly stopped there and be like, you guys need anything from the hardware store? I'm going to the hardware store. They just hop in and we take over to the hardware store. So yeah, and I haven't been there in a while. So.
We can always not eat, but at least go and say hi and set it up with them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that. Oh, this would be fun if we do it too, JT. The last time I did a video with them, they taught me how to ride the Amish horse and buggy, and they allowed me to film it.
Let's
Who
go.
here in the comments would like to see JT riding the Amish horse and buggy?
I'm ready. And speaking of seeing things, did you see Jeff the Prosperous in his new hat, man?
Loved it. Loved it. That was so nice, JT.
Yeah, it just, man, and then it just made my day that he said I made his day after a chemo treatment, man. Like, I just wanted to just put that, it's not anything I did. It's just something we all can do. Just simple, small gestures, man. You never know how much it could help somebody in a day that maybe isn't going great. So that meant the world that Jeff said that it made his day, because it made my day making his day. And I hope we can all find joy in ourselves by making joy for other people.
Love it. That's what everyone loves Bill Knott, right? Every one of his videos, he's talking about that. Spreading some joy, being kind to one another. It's so true. And it's like, you can do it for selfish reasons. I do it for selfish reasons sometimes. I feel better if you're kind and nice to someone and you go out of your way. It makes me feel better for selfish reasons, but it's a good thing anyway. So just do it. It's a win-win all the way around. We're gonna be doing it this weekend for sure.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we're gonna step things up so big, man. I'm telling you, you guys don't even know what's coming, man. It's gonna be awesome.
Nice. Hey, speaking of nice and kindness, man, thankful, grateful, blessed.
Let them know.
So many comments. I'm getting mail from people, JT, now. I've gotten, it started out with the YouTube comments. Then I started getting Facebook comments. I saw your 30-day video. It inspired me. I started Carnivore. It changed my life. And then I'm getting them on Instagram. I'm getting them on all the social media stuff. I've been getting a lot of mail lately. I just got this, I'm not going to say her name, but a letter someone wrote me in the mail. She said, Carrie, thank you for what you are doing. The world needs to wake up and change. P.S. I'm 71 years old and I'm becoming a full carnivore. And she sent me a little donation for the Healing Humanity documentary, which is just incredible. She's from New York.
Doesn't that just mean the world, man?
It means the world, especially what really gets me all the time. And I'm getting so many of these and I'm not saying this is old, but folks in their 70s and 80s doing carnivore, thriving on carnivore. They've gone their whole life with one mindset, eating one sort of way, and they weren't getting the results they wanted. And they have mobility issues and arthritis and aches and pains.
Good in their retirement, which is supposed to be the best time of their life, and they probably feel worse. And that shouldn't be, man. We should be feeling great and clicking on all cylinders, even in retirement.
100%. That's a lesson from my childhood, JT. My grandfather, oh my God, he was the coolest guy ever. Worked his whole life, couple of jobs, supported his family, and right around retirement age, 65 or so, maybe a little bit younger than that, had a massive stroke and didn't even get like a year of good retirement. He lived through the stroke, thankfully, but he was paralyzed on the whole right side of his body. So worked his whole life and then that. And I really believe that is caused from nutrition, from the foods he was eating. So I don't know. I feel less susceptible to having a stroke or a heart attack, but I'm not worried about it. If I do, and I'll deal with it. But yeah, it's so sad. So many people, and what's crazy, JT? I just heard this. This just blew my mind. The average life expectancy for the first time in decades is going in the wrong direction. Humans are living less now than they have ever throughout history. That's a sobering statistic. And then another one was the expected death rate is way up, way up. The number, they have this calculation, how many people should die in a year from diseases and all sorts of things. It's incredibly up higher, and no one in the media is talking about it either, by the way, which is just craziness. So anyhow, we could stay on a hopeful, happy note. There's a lot of stuff going on, but there's a lot of hope and happiness in the world too. And I'm seeing it more and more.
That's exactly why we're doing this documentary, to counteract those negative side effects that we're all got in this world. Like I was telling you the other day, it's our job to plant these seeds, even if we'll never sit in the shade of those trees. That's our job.
Yes, absolutely. And speaking of hope and being kind and humanity, shout out Dave Mack. So I did a video with Dave Mack. Dave has been doing he's interviewed hundreds of carnivores. JT, you got to be getting close to him. Like, you two are the carnivore conversationalists.
Not a lot.
Dave Mack, man, I had him on the channel the other day because I'm picking JT's brain. I'm picking Dave Mack's brain. Well, one, I wanted to share Dave's story. He's just such a cool guy. He came on the 24-hour live stream. He interviewed me on his channel way back when I first started Carnivore. And I've always liked Dave, and I just love how he interviews people. And anyways, I had him on the channel, and he shared some emotional stories. First, he shared his own carnivore story, but then he shared some incredible stories. One person who was blind and their vision started improving on carnivore. And Dave got emotional talking about it. I got emotional listening to Dave talk about it. This man able to see his daughter clearly for the first time. It was crazy. But the beautiful thing with all of that whole story was beautiful. The comments afterwards. I said to Dave, I was like, Dave, I've had a lot of people on my channel. I have never seen this much love. Like ever, and I didn't prompt people. I didn't say, go leave a comment. Tell everyone how much you love Dave. Every other comment was like, I love Dave. I love what Dave's doing. And sometimes we don't give people the credit they deserve. Even it's there and we appreciate them, but we don't give them the credit they deserve. And I feel like Dave was maybe not feeling the love, or I'm sure he was, but not to the extent. So he even commented, he was like, I've never felt like so much love before. And the comments, they just kept coming in and in and in. I just said to him, I was like, you are well loved, and it's well deserved because you're awesome. What you're doing is awesome. So
yeah,
that was pretty cool.
With carnivores, I've been on his show. He's a very welcoming, and he makes you feel comfortable when you talk to him. And I can tell he's got a genuine soul. Like, he's on the carnivore diet, he's getting results, he feels good, and he wants people to have what he has. And that's my type of guy.
100%. Yeah, I always say that you got to kind of look at everything in this world nowadays. What's the bias? What's the motivation? What's it there? And with Dave, it's pure. He's a good dude. With so many of these doctors, Dr. Hampton, man, what a great guy.
Hey, we got Bill in here. What's up, Bill?
Bill's in the chat. Let's go.
Bill, we're gonna be knocking on more doors this weekend.
Bill's getting ready for the Alaskan version of knocking on strangers' doors.
I cannot wait to knock on doors with Bill. I mean, I'm telling you, man. When Bill invited me out there, I was like, dude, I'm taking advantages. I'm going, Bill. And I hate heights, man. I hate getting in planes. But I'm all about embracing what you fear. So, I know on the other side of me embracing that fear, there's going to be such a beautiful memory to make by seeing Bill and meeting him and knocking on some doors. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's exciting. This whole week, man. How has your week been, JT?
Busy, super, super busy. I'm like a chicken with my head cut off, but it's good though. I'd rather, I feel like an idle mind is the devil's playground, and I feel like it's good to have things scheduled. That way it doesn't give you time to be idle and to stay in neutral. You just stay and drive all week, and it might be a little tiring, but man, it's rewarding when you look back and all the stuff you did during that week. You're like, wow, I really went at it.
Yeah.
So it's been busy, but it's been rewarding.
Nice. Yeah, same here. It's this has been the craziest week, I think, yet for
we're going parasailing?
Healing Humanity. Yeah, let's go, Bill.
Let's go, dude. Bill, you're the freaking man, dude. But yeah, it's been a crazy. You want to? Things have just been going crazy. You want to talk about any of that?
Well, I'll abbreviate it, but just some exciting news for the Healing Humanity documentary. Adam and I gave a presentation to a group that was interested in learning more, and we'll share more on that later. But that was hugely exciting. Then another company approached us, and they're like, we want to help with the documentary. I'm doing carnivore, and it's a large company. So that was kind of crazy. Then we just had a huge rush of donations on the GoFundMe yesterday, which is just a huge blessing because it seems like, speaking of Bill Knott, when I wanted to go film Bill, I was like, we have the money, we've raised the funds, but I'm a penny pincher. JT seeing my rusty van I got sitting out here, it's falling apart. Like, I pinch pennies, and with every penny we're getting for this documentary is going 100% to the documentary, but I'm also trying to make it stretch. And when I wanted to go film Bill, I wanted to do it so bad. I'm like, I'm going to wipe out most of our funds. And then boom, all of a sudden we had this donation. Well, we've been anxious to go film Dr. Ken Berry in Tennessee for the documentary. We've already filmed with him, but just over a live stream like I am right here with JT. And the quality is not acceptable for a Netflix documentary or a streaming documentary, a movie documentary. So anyhow, we're going to film Dr. Berry, and then just like out of the blue, like we didn't do any big fundraiser 24-hour live stream. Just yesterday, all of a sudden, a bunch of people started donating to the GoFundMe, which is more than paying for the expense it's going to take to go film Dr. Barry. So Adam and I are going to film Dr. Barry February, the first week. I keep saying February, like it's so far. It's like less than 2 weeks. We're going to be down.
It's almost here, my dude.
You know what I was thinking, JT? Man, knocking on Dr. Barry's door.
Yeah, like
can we cook you some steaks for dinner? What's going on? And then we could do a little skit. Like it could be like, Nisha, go get the shotgun. Get some knuckleheads at the door here. Right?
No, that would be fun. I think he's the type of guy. He seems like he's got a fun side.
Yeah.
Like he'd be like, you know what, let's do it, and then we'll get down to business.
Yeah, I'm so looking.
He's like the ultimate guy. To him and Chafee, they've got the ultimate channels that if you're literally just starting carnivore, you literally have to check out their channels because they're going to address so many of your concerns and put you at ease about this diet and just give you all sorts of confidence to just go right at it and get your results. So I feel like he's got such an important channel for beginners. He's amazing, and he's a blessing to this community.
Yeah. What I love about him the most is just the common sense. So many times he'll start a video out and I'll be like, oh, this is going to be some science or something weird. And then by the end of it, it's always, every single time, it's just like, duh, that's just common sense. But he put it together. He packaged it together so we can understand it, digest it. He's brilliant at doing that.
He's a communicator. Communicator can take complicated things and put them in an easy way to understand. And a teacher, they don't feel like they've done their job unless you're confused, in my opinion. So he's a communicator. He definitely knows how to get these complicated things into an easy packaged message, and that's valuable.
For sure. That's why I'm so excited to film him too, because we have almost everything we need for our pre-movie kind of prototype, like our 10-minute version. This is what we have so far. I can't wait to share it. JT might get a little sneak peek this weekend, but we can't share it with the general public because if we put it out there on YouTube, we can't put it in a documentary. But it's almost there. The part that's missing is the Dr. Barry part, and I know he's going to brilliantly help us fill that part in.
And we need that for the Torch trailer, right?
Exactly. It's not even going to be any work. I'm just going to be there and like hit record on the camera and be like do your magic. Right.
Just do you, bro.
Yep.
And speaking of Chafee, I have a live stream tonight with Dr. Chafee, and I've invited other parents on, like Jeff DeProsperous and Ellie, and there's a bunch of them coming on, and we're going to talk all about kids on the carnivore diet. And I wanted to address, because a lot of parents, it's funny, like they'll do the diet themselves and think it's great and good for them, but they won't put their kids on it. I'm like, well, a kid is just a smaller human. There's just, if it's good for you, if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander, right? Like, it's got to be good for you. And if it's good for you, it's got to be good for your kid. And I want Chafee to address these concerns and help eliminate some fears that parents have. You know, like, will the carnivore diet stunt my child's growth? You know, like, is there any, are they, you know, if you have a child on carnivore, are they more likely to have a heart attack when they reach adulthood? These are things I want to, and maybe doesn't have all the answers, but he's got the knowledge of the science and how the body works and responds to things. And I think he can eliminate a lot of fears for parents. So it's a very important video to me because I'm raising my son on carnivore, and to a lot of other parents who are maybe thinking about, and even grandparents, if you're a grandparent, you've got grandkids and they come over and you feed them carnivore, you want to know, like, well, am I doing okay by them? We're sure we are, but it's just nice to hear from Dr. Chafee. Let him break this down. So if you guys can tune in tonight, man, I think that's going to be a very important topic because there's not a lot of people embracing the children in carnivore, you know, because they're our future. I mean, if we want this to be sustainable, we need to teach our kids this way of life.
100%. I'm going to be watching. It's such a great topic too, because I guess because Emma's been on my channel a couple times, I get that question all the time. What about kids? What about teenagers? How do you overcome some of these things? And I'm so happy you're doing it, JT, too, because our good friend, Jeff DeProsperous, when I filmed him in Canada, that was one of the things he was actually specifically saying. He wanted to do a video about kids on carnivore because his two boys they're killing it, eating the proper human diet.
Yeah, and from babies to toddlers to teens, man, we're going to talk all about kids on carnivore. It's so important, man. They're our future, and Dr. Chafee is the guy, and he jumped right at it. He's like, wow, this is going to be awesome. I'm like, let's go. So Jeff is involved. So It's gonna be the bomb, man. I'm excited. It's my first time having Chafee on my channel as well, but I figured why be selfish? I wanted to throw the invite to other people that have kids on carnivore, so we can all eliminate these fears together. And also, too, I told Jeff, I told everybody on the stream, you're more than welcome to bring your kids on the stream. I don't see enough live streams where there's a kid on the screen. It's just fun. Like, let's do something different. Let's go big.
Nice.
Let's raise the stakes, right?
Yeah, go check it out. If you're watching from my channel, this live stream, I have JT's link in the description below. So check that video out tonight. Speaking of JT,
in my description. So if you're watching my channel, go to Carrie's channel too.
Appreciate it. Speaking of JT and Dr. Chafee and Jeff DeProsperous, we got another little collaboration coming up. We're keeping Dr. Chafee busy, aren't we? Tuesday, man, it's coming up quick. Tuesday the 30th. We're doing a mental health live stream. Dr. Georgia Eid, Dr. Anthony Chafee, Dr. Tony Hampton. The first hour, we're doing a roundtable. The second hour, we're having individual stories. Bill Knott, shout out. Bill's going to be there. Todd Bachnes, Carnivorous Me, Amanda, Carnivore Soldier Larry. JT's going to be there. Jeff DeProsperous is going to be there. Bill Knott, yep. Yeah, so it's going to be fun. And then the third hour, it's open. So it's a live stream, so you guys can ask your own questions to Dr. Eid, Dr. Chafee, and Dr. Hampton. Hoping to help a lot of people with that video. There's the number of humans in the world right now that are depressed or have mental health issues is just staggering. It's really staggering.
That pandemic, man. It did nothing good for our bodies. It did nothing good for our mental health. And without good mental health, man, your body is just going to deteriorate.
There's one stat that says 40% of college students are suffering from mental health issues. 40%. But when you think about that, that has to be reported at 40%. How much is unreported? How many people out there have depression, anxiety, and they don't report it? I know myself, I went for years before ever going in and getting help. And
I never got help for mine, man. I just sucked it. I'm one of those people that never reported. I just sucked it up and just, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of stubborn, man. I figured, I was like, why do I feel like this? Like I'm better than that. But it's you should be thinking better, but you're not. So it is something. And if you do need help, there's no shame in getting help for depression or talking to somebody. I just as far as therapy goes, my coach always told me that, like instead of sitting in that low vibration talking about something that happened to you, you could spend time like knocking on doors, doing something exciting that's just gonna erase that stuff. You won't even remember it because you've done so much new fun stuff. But if you do need to talk to someone, please do. Like it's important. Mental health it's no joke.
Yeah, 100%. Speaking of mental health, should we do our little segment here? JT and I got some segments now.
Let's go.
Here's one of them. This one is the one we call the word of the day. Maybe we'll do this every episode.
Yeah.
The word of the day is metabolic.
AI is great, isn't it, JT?
It's the future, man. I'm telling you, it's fun. You got it. Some people look at it as a bad way, but when you have fun with it, it's fun.
Right. So the word of the day is metabolic health. And I just want to talk about this real quick because this is so interesting to me. We're doing the Healing Humanity documentary. It's kind of me going on this journey. And I'm like, well, what do I have to learn? Right, JT? You eat the proper human diet, you feel way better. There's not much more to learn, but I have learned so much talking to these individuals.
Much to learn, Carrie.
There's so much. Every time it's like, whoa, wait a minute. And here's the biggest one, and it's around metabolic health. I've heard the word metabolic health before, but not really. My whole life, it was just, you eat meat, it's going to clog your arteries. Everyone was worried about cholesterol my entire life. I was worried about cholesterol, eating meat, fatty meat. No one ever said anything about metabolic health. Then on the 24-hour live stream, we interviewed heart surgeon Dr. Philip Ovadia, and he told me that if you have poor metabolic health, you're 6 times more likely to have heart disease than if your cholesterol numbers are above what they should be. 6 times from having poor metabolic health. That was the first thing that kind of stuck with me. Nobody talks about that yet. Most of society has poor metabolic health. So that was just one thing on my journey, so to speak. But then I met the wonderful and interviewed Dr. Tony Hampton, metabolic doc. He's done so much work with type 2 diabetes. And then he's telling me about how important metabolic health is for type 2 diabetes. And he's passionate about this. He's like, they just got to get their metabolic health in order and then they can reverse type 2 diabetes. Then it just keeps going. Then we have Dr. Georgia Eid, who's going to be on the live stream later. She's talking about proper metabolic health for your mind, for depression and anxiety. And Dr. Barry's talking about metabolic health. And it's like, then the biggest mind-blowing one for me was when we interviewed Professor Thomas Seyfried, who says cancer is a metabolic disease with metabolic treatments. It's all about metabolic health. And he's so fired up and passionate. He's like, people just need to focus on their metabolic health if they have cancer, if they want to avoid cancer. Philip Ovadia, if you want to avoid heart disease, focus on metabolic health. Dr. Tony Hampton, you don't want type 2 diabetes, metabolic health. Dr. Georgia Eid, you want to improve your mental depression, anxiety, metabolic health. All of these individuals, they're screaming about this one thing because they're so passionate in their own respective fields. But then for me, putting it all together on this journey, I'm like, it's everything. It's all tied together. It's so simple. And then if we take all of that and just simplify it, yes, it's fixing your metabolic health. Or if it's even simpler than that, I know I've said this before, but I like to keep things as simple as possible. Humans have just escaped from what is natural. When you're eating what's natural for humans, your metabolic health figures itself out. It's not complicated. It's not counting calories and carbs and how much sugar did I have. You eat what's natural. You do what's proper for a human. Your metabolic health regulates. All of those things are better. All of it, your likelihood of getting cancer. That's a big statement. That's what Professor Seyfried told me. Chronic inflammation, most oftentimes from either smoking cigarettes or eating bad food that chronically inflames you, can lead to cancer if you do it for long enough. So it's just that's one of the biggest things I learned on the journey. The importance of metabolic health and simplifying it. Just eat what's proper. Do it. Go. Stop. We're getting so far away from what's proper for humans. These things like flip. I do it too. I'm trying to cut back, not getting sunlight under the fluorescent lights all day, not getting exercise, rebreathing circulated air because we're not getting fresh air, and mainly these crazy foods we're eating over and over again. So I think that's good.
In the sun, like that.
Right.
I mean, I'm telling you, man, there's so many things that are backwards nowadays, and it's a shame. It's a shame, but things can be reversed. You know, there's no problem without a solution. There's no question without an answer. And I learned that about the law of polarity, and that's why I get so much confidence about doing this, because I know we can make a change. I know we can change all those things, buddy.
Yeah, 100%.
And wait for the next doctor that comes out of the woodworks, and then the next one. People, I feel like they're getting excited to talk about this even more because guys like you and me are starting to wake up, and everybody in the chat, guys, everybody like us, we're starting, the general population, we're starting to wake up, and we're starting to listen, and we're starting to raise our awareness and say, oh, wow, I didn't know that. And then when you enlighten enough people, it's going to change the world. And that's so important. I'm so glad people are waking up and they're ready for this message. They want to learn, they want to listen, and that's what's going to make the difference.
Right. Yeah, we talked about that last week, the positive deviance. It's such a cool concept, and I'm looking forward to talking to Dr. Eid on Tuesday because she is the definition of a positive deviance. When you look at the mental health crisis we have right now, everyone's doing the same thing. They're just pills and therapy, and she's doing something drastically different, and people are having drastically different results. She's a positive deviant, and that's how you break the social norm of, oh no, this is just what we could do for mental health. This is the only solution. No, Chris Palmer with his book, there's lots of people that are deviating that are having good success, and that's how we're gonna ultimately change things for the graders, highlighting the voices of those positive deviants.
You've got to step up. Look at Edison. He gave us the light bulb. The Wright brothers, they put us in the air. You know, we're going to take that plane out to see Bill. Those are people that thought outside of the box, and they were like, hey, we've got to try something different and to get a new result, right? Whereas if you do the same thing over and over and you want to feel better, you want a new result, that's literally the definition of insanity. Like you're going to keep eating the same way, feeling the same way, but you expect to feel better. It's not going to happen.
Absolutely.
Man, can we do a roll call quick? I just want to see where are you guys watching from right now? Me and Carrie in Wisconsin. Let's do a carnival roll call because the chat, it looks a little, you guys look like you're a little sleeping this Friday. Like it's Friday, right? You guys, or is this Monday? I thought it was Friday.
Let's go.
Let's go. It's Friday.
Where are you from?
Germany, San Diego. Nice. Georgia, Denmark. Let's go.
Canada,
hey. Texas, Maryland, nice. Alabama, down in Bama. Florida, Ohio. Man, it's so good to see Michigan. that just warms my heart to know you guys, we are all spread out. Like if you guys are, I know it just seems like we're in this video chat and we aren't making much of a difference. Look in the chat though. Look where you guys are all from. Like, look at the imprint we're gonna make on this planet. Scotland, Oklahoma. Let's go, Oklahoma. Let's go. Yeah, Maine, Virginia, Germany. Okay, nice, nice. New York, man. Wait till this documentary gets out, man, and then all you guys can share your friends this documentary. It's gonna be awesome. Oops.
Hey, we got a question from John. Great timing on this question. Have you guys heard of carnivore improving vision? John, you got to go watch the video I just did with Dave Mack, because that was his biggest testimony. He shared his story, and then he shared an individual who was blind and vision improved drastically, eating the proper human diet. I've heard of many others, just anecdotally, people giving me comments. I've heard many others say the same thing. And I think a part of it has to do with inflammation. The other thing I hear from a lot of people, including Dr. Jordan Peterson, when he was famously on Joe Rogan talking about his carnivore testimony, the floaters in the eye went away for the first time in decades. I hear a lot of people reporting that as well in terms of vision. Shout out Dr. Lisa Wiedemann. She's an optometrist, proper human diet, and eye doctor. Lots of stories and testimonials that she's had from people improving their vision as well. So go check her out.
Yeah, Bill, I love it.
So, hey, we got another little segment. Should we try this one, JT?
Yeah, let's go. You guys ready for another segment?
We're trying to make this a little more fun. Let's have some little segments, a little bit here or there. This, let me see. Do I have? I think I have a little audio thing for this one as well. Let's see if I can find it here. Here we go.
Let us enter and wheel of proper human diet discussions.
Let's go.
Matt, let's spin the proper human diet wheel.
Yeah,
and shout out
The Price is Right, man. Let's go.
Right. Shout out Todd Bachnes, Michael, Lindy. They've got an awesome channel, the Carnivore Cure. They do their live stream every weekend, and they do this wheel thing. So I totally stole this from them. Credit where credit is due. But JT and I thought this would be fun. We'll put some topics on here. I think we have 8 different topics, such as budget carnivore, cooking tips, regrets, wisdom. That's a good one for JT. Beginner's guide, mental health, carnivore confessions, frequency, gone wrong. So I'm going to spin this and I'm going to put JT on the spot. JT's got whatever it lands on, JT, you got to run with. Okay.
All right, guys, it's Friday. Let's spin the wheel.
Here we go.
Ain't got no time to waste. Let's go. What's going to land on? Ooh.
Carnivore confessions.
Ooh.
You have any carnivore confessions?
Yeah, I do. I had a Pepsi about like 2 or 3 weeks ago because I just wanted to, I hear everybody keep saying like, like this changes your taste buds, your taste will change, and then things will be even more sweet than you thought. And I said, well, let me just try to see, because I had this, I could just smell it and taste the Pepsi in my mind. Dude, I cracked this can of soda. I took like 2 or 3 sips and I was like, holy moly, this is it. It is true. Like your taste buds do. I am so sensitive now to sugar. It's bananas. So I couldn't take more than 2 sips. I definitely didn't finish that can. I just poured the rest of it out, and it made me feel sick to my stomach. I could feel it in my stomach, and I felt like crap. And it hit me. I was like, wow, I was drinking can after can of this stuff every day.
Right.
And then I would buy Coca-Cola too. It's like, what was I doing to myself? And like, it's so amazing when you desensitize yourself and have sugar all the time, it doesn't seem that strong. But when you're off of it, so I'm not encouraging you guys to go try Pepsi, but like I just did it as an experiment. Just, I've been on this for 219 days now. And I said, I want to see what a Pepsi tastes like now on this diet. And it was horrible, man. It was way too sweet. So that is my carnivore confession. It wasn't like I was like, man, I got to just down this thing. I was like, let's like experiment, but it was a naughty experiment. Yes.
Yeah, that's the Coke. I saw something on YouTube the other day about Coke. Like you can, what the heck was it? You put it if you spill it on the cement, it'll actually like tear into the cement over time. It's
Yeah.
crazy how.
The sewer, my gramps, the sewer, he used to work for a company and they would take off sewer grates and stuff. And he said sometimes when they were rusted on, he said they would pour Coca-Cola around the edges of the sewer grate. And he said it would break down the rust and they could lift it right off. And he's
Wow.
like, he said he could never fathom how people were drinking that on a daily basis and they were using it as a tool.
Right. That's crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah, and like you, I'm not judging either because man, that was me. Diet soda was my thing. I used to be addicted to Diet
I don't
Coke,
like diet. I cannot do diet, man.
and then I got hooked on the Diet Mountain Dew. And I used to go to the gas station and get it. Like I would get in the car and drive all the way to the gas station just to get Diet Mountain Dew. And then it was the bigger one. And then it was the one that was like this big. And then it got to a point where I was getting like 2 of those a day. I can't. That's why when people are like, "Oh, you're so strict," I can't moderate. So your experiment, if I did that, JT, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I'm
And
so
that's okay. That's okay. But I
right.
had to try it, Carrie, and it just because I don't want to talk about things and not know what I'm talking about.
Right.
So if I'm telling people like your taste will change, I want to know that for myself. So yeah, I took one for the bullet. I took 2 sips and it was horrible and it made my stomach upset, guys. Like I did not feel good after 2 sips of Pepsi.
I don't have cravings for sugar at all anymore, but I was a big sugar addict before. And we still have it at the movie theater. It's a touchy subject. I know. I've got the carnivore snacks. We got the pork rinds. We got the grass-fed beef sticks, but we would literally go out of business without it. But there was like a box of Nerds, the big jumbo box of Nerds. That used to be one. Those are so bad for you. That used to be one of my go-tos. And I walked by it. I think Emma was there. And I just grabbed, I was shaking it around. I have no desire to have it at all. But I was like, could you imagine if I just opened this? Because back in the day, I would just be like just an incredible amount of sugar at one time. I'm like, I wonder what would happen. She's like, Dad, you'd probably die. Because I'm so like, just like you said, just a little bit of Pepsi messed you up.
It's literally poison. And now I'm glad I went on the carnivore diet because now my taste buds are actually tasting things for what they are. Like that is crap. It's too strong. It's too much, and it's not good for you. And I'm glad my body is now trained to recognize poisons like that.
Right. You had like an alcoholic, you had a tolerance to Pepsi and sugar
Oh,
before.
big time. Big
Now
time.
it's gone. You have a little bit. And you're like, whoa, this is crazy.
Yeah,
So
and I felt really like almost lightheaded at like it gave me such a sugar rush, just those 2 sips. I was like, I don't like this feeling, you know?
right.
I don't like it.
All right. For my carnivore confession,
Uh-oh.
here we go. I got to be careful. So I just want to preface this because everyone's like, oh, you're so strict and you do this, you do that. You're so strict. I was on keto for years and I had such good. I've said this before. I'll just say it real quick. The most horrible feeling in the world for anyone that I want other people not to have to go through is struggling with weight your whole life, losing it all very difficultly on keto. Like keto was the best thing for me at that time, but it was difficult. Lost a whole bunch of weight, was feeling really good and saying to myself, I'm never going to gain this back. No matter what I do, I will never gain this back. And then 3 months later, I gained it all back and then more. And then, by the way, doing that probably 20 times. Like, I really think I probably lost more weight. This is a big statement. I think I've lost more weight than anybody on the entire planet. If you add it all up, because I lost it, gained it, lost it, gained it. I'm talking for like 15 years. You guys can see, people have said it to me, JT. They're like, I saw your YouTube video from 4 years ago. You weren't that fat. Look 4 months before that. I could show you guys. I'm going to do a compilation from over the years. It is crazy. It's like, even the girls will say, Dad, you are huge. And then a couple of months later, you can see it coming down a little bit, coming down, and then back up, and then down and up and down. I cheated all the time on keto. I've learned I can't cheat. If I did JT's test with the Pepsi, I'm so scared like I would go off the rails.
There's no way you're gonna. I'm telling you, there's no way. If you did that experiment, there's no way you're gonna drink more than I drank because you're gonna feel the same way. It's gonna make you feel like crap.
Right.
You say this is way too strong. Then that's my point. Like it proves to you that what people say, I've heard other people say that it changes your taste. And I just want to know for myself, because if I'm giving people information, I don't want to
for sure
give people a bum steer. And
for me, I'm almost scared of it though. It would be like I quit alcohol and like I'm going to take a little bit. It's different for everyone, but for me, that's how big my addiction was. I can't moderate it all. But in terms of my confessions, I'm going to give you guys one, and you guys are going to laugh and say I'm completely pathetic. I'm on day 312 of carnivore. And like I said, I'm not a saint. I cheated on keto over and over again. I've never cheated on carnivore. But a couple of weeks ago, I was at the movie theater. And this was before I'm not on bacon anymore either. This was when I was eating a lot of bacon. I was at the movie theater, and one of the girls said to me, they like, get away from me. Your breath is the most stank thing I've ever smelled. Like, I think it was Alyssa. She's like, she was kind of joking, but it was really funny. She's like, we're trying to run a business here. You can't. And I was at the cash register at the movie theater. So I had a piece of gum. I know, big confession, but I literally, there was a carb in it. I think that was the only carb I've had. I should just stop talking right now.
There's carbs and eggs. You're having carbs.
Yeah. The only unnatural, the only not proper human diet, not man-made single ingredient carb I had was in a piece of gum. And I didn't binge and eat a bunch of stuff after that. So that's the only, I know I'm pathetic on the confessions.
Pack a double mint and
right. Yeah. I would have done that before too. It was like, oh, one piece of gum. Oh, if one's good, let's have two or let's have three. So that's my pathetic confession. That's all I got for you. But I did cheat a million times on keto. And that's why I'm cautious, because people are like, I just want to avoid other people. I don't want to be like, yeah, you can have a cheat day, you'll be fine. And then you go down the same road I did, or you lose an incredible amount of weight and then you gain it all back because someone's like, yeah, it'll just be fine. For some people, they can't moderate. That's what Dave told me. Dave Mack told me on our interview. I'm like, yeah, dude, we're the same. Some people have that little carb dial. I have a switch. I can't turn it. It's on or off. And if it's on, I'm reckless. So
yeah, I wouldn't suggest a cheat day, but I would. I mean, if you ever feel like you've gotten your discipline and your confidence to a level where you did do an experiment like that, just so you can be like, yeah, they're right. Like, this is totally just to blow your own brain on how that crap tastes to you now and how it makes you feel. And that will definitely give you some feel like, wow, just that little bit sent me back in that direction I used to be. Like, I am on the right path. Because sometimes you feel so good, you start to take it for granted. And maybe you need to be reminded. So I'm not encouraging nobody to do it, but if you do, like, just wait until you're in a headspace to do an experiment like that. But otherwise, I don't think people need a cheat day. I think then you still have love for the stuff in your heart.
Right.
And that stuff is like a bad friend. It didn't treat you well. It stabbed you in the back, and it's looking to do you harm the first chance it gets. And I don't want to experiment with a friend like that, you know?
Right, for sure. Yeah, and that's the other one last little lesson maybe for some people that are just starting out on carnivores. Some people will start and they'll still stick with things like the diet soda or the artificial sweeteners and things like that. And I often find, just because I talk to so many people starting out on carnivore, it's very hard for them. And they're like, well, it's so easy for you. You don't have any of these cravings or anything. And I really think that's because they're keeping those artificial sweeteners and things like that. Like with carnivore, it's almost like you got to do or don't. It's not like try. It's not like Weight Watchers. It's not like, oh, I'll mostly do it and then I'll have a little bit here. If you're going to do it, just commit for 30 days and really, really try. It'll make it so much easier. The only reason I'm saying that is because I know it'll make it so much easier. It's a lot harder if you're trying to do it and you have these constant cravings. I don't have any.
Commit for 30 days. At least try 7 days. At least try 1 week and see how you feel. I guarantee you're going to say, wow, I'm going to give this another week.
Yep. Awesome. Hey, we got new members. Tom, thank you so much. I'm doing a lot more member stuff lately.
Got a dono too, which is nice.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tom. Yeah, all the members, man. If you're not a member, you're missing out on content that you're just not going to see unless you're a member. You can click on it, but it won't play.
Every Thursday, we do members only live stream, 2:00 Central. We had one yesterday. It was a lot of fun.
Is that Tobias, that name? Tobias?
Tobias. Awesome name. Thank you for becoming a member. Sindre?
Nice.
That's right. And
Let's
we got a super chat from Bent. Mickelson. Yes, there are carnivores in Norway. I love channels with regular blokes and gals talking about beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. I still appreciate various doctors here and there, but it is we who move the pendulum. Love that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely carnivores in Norway because that's where the Vikings are from, man. And I was talking to Ketoing Viking. If you guys aren't sure with her channel, shout out to Misty, the Ketoing Viking. She approaches her carnivore diet as a Viking would. I mean, you just got to love this community. And she eats whatever a Viking would have survived on. Fatty fish. When they got on the land and raided, they ate animals off farms. So, yeah, man, Norway has definitely got some carnivores.
Crazy Canadian Carnivore has a question. Hey, friends, I work at a university. I'm surrounded by vegans. Even the omnivores are putting me on a cross. How do you promote a channel out of the line of fire?
You can't. I've got over 42 million views. I'm always in the line of fire. I'm always catching negative comments. It's just part about it. But what you got to do is whatever they think is none of your business. What you guys think of me is none of my business. You just have to be sure of what you think about yourself. And if you know that you're feeling better and you're doing the right thing, put yourself out there, be proud. Life is short, man. You don't want to live and censor yourself and hold yourself back for other people who don't want to see you get out there and thrive. Never hold yourself back for someone else. So I don't think you can get out of the line of fire. You just have to accept it and start focusing on the good people in the community that are going to support you.
Yeah, good advice. We had a similar question on a stream yesterday, and shout out Adam Carnivore today. He had a good answer too. He's like, if you have a channel and you're getting negative comments, just thank them because it helps with the YouTube algorithm. YouTube's like, oh, look at all the engagement. YouTube doesn't care what the comment is. They just care that there's a lot of them. People must be engaging. So it's actually helping your channel and helping you grow. The other piece of advice I gave yesterday, I'll just repeat really quickly, is it's tough sometimes these comments we get on YouTube channels, the videos. They don't bother me anymore. But every now and then, but here's my advice for people. Shout out Jeff DeProsperous. He called me up the other day and he got a nasty comment. It just pissed me off. Sorry. It made me upset. Like, come on, leave the guy alone. But I told this to Jeff and I believe this is true. You know, like ChatGPT, all this AI stuff, it's crazy how far it's coming. I could take any video right now, plug it into ChatGPT and say, give me a hurtful or harmful comment. And you wouldn't be able to detect if it was a human or if it was a bot. And there are bots out there. That's all they do. It's just a computer program and they go out there and they comment on videos. Why would they do that? Because you're going to look at it and be like, who the heck is this leaving me this negative comment? And then you're going to click on it and then you're going to go to their YouTube channel. And then YouTube's going to see, oh, look at all these people going and it's going to help them. It's so stupid. It's such a waste of time. It's evil. It's bad. Long story short, this is what I said to Jeff, and this is what I'll say to you. Just assume if you're getting a negative comment and it's getting under your skin, it's not even a real person. It's a bot or it's a program, and it probably is. And even if it's not and it's a real person, it's probably someone that is sad. They have something wrong. They're projecting. They're depressed.
That if you didn't have something going on in your life that you weren't happy with, you wouldn't project that. Misery loves company, man. If they're not liking themselves, they want someone else to not like themselves. So I wouldn't focus on that at all. As long as you love yourself and you love your family, you love your neighbors, there's nobody that can hold you back, man.
Oh, we got a little follow-up. Wasn't actually the channel, but it's in person. Even supervisors are squawking about it.
Yeah, just say okay and just move on, man. You got to have a thick skin out here. You gotta, because when you're putting yourself out there, you're gonna get comments, and just let them feel how they feel. You feel how you feel, and eventually, when we start getting more studies and information out on the carnivore diet, I think a lot of those opinions are going to change, and you'll probably get some people that even apologize to you. So let them squawk a lot, and just it's all they're doing is wasting their time. They're wasting their breath, and just shake your head, man. Be like, I'm not wasting damn breath on you, man. Like that is what it is. So
Right.
Shout out to you, crazy Canadian carnivore. You got my support.
You got my support too. And one thing I'll leave you with, I love this. Crazy Canadian carnivore. If a supervisor or someone, if they have a problem with you, I've said this to people too, that is a you problem. That is their problem. That's not your problem. You're not doing anything wrong. If someone has a problem with me, that's a you problem.
It sounds like a personal problem, I usually tell them.
Right.
And you get so mad, you tell someone like, oh, it sounds like a personal problem you're having. Oh, but it's not about getting them mad. It's just about finding your confidence. Anybody who's on the screen, you're going to get comments because you're in front of the screen. People get an opportunity to throw a tomato at you or throw a rose. And sometimes you'll get a rose thrown at you, and sometimes it's going to be a tomato to the face. It's happened to me. It's happened to Carrie. But you got to just know who you are and know that you have a clean conscience, you have a good heart, and you got to focus. I think a lot of people take their intentions for granted. If you have good intentions to help people, don't let anybody faze you.
Yeah, you know your intentions and you know what your truth is, and that's all that matters. And the other thing is, I guarantee you this, almost everyone in person that's squawking at you or saying something about you, they are projecting and they are seeing you having success and they're wondering if they're doing something wrong, probably as they're still eating their birthday cake and having their poor metabolic health. And they're like, you're a positive deviant. And that scares people. They're in the social norm and they're doing what everyone else is doing, what's normal, even though all of them are suffering and they're sick and they got aches and pains and ailments and issues and inflammation. And you don't, you're doing fine. So they're going to call you out on it. That's them projecting. It's kind of sad. If you look at it that way, I used to look at things like that, like it was a front to me or something, like it was an insult to me. And I've since turned it around. I'm like, that's just sad. It's just sad. They haven't figured it out yet. And frankly, what you're doing is superior to what they're doing. And they're coming after you because they're projecting and they're sad. So
yeah, I don't even fight with the vegans, man. I even had Haley on last night from Meat Is Where It's At. She was vegan for 10 years and she's one of the nicest, funnest people you could meet. So that's why I'm saying, like, don't argue with these people because eventually they're going to be allies, and stick to your guns. They're going to stick to theirs. And when their opinions change, that's when their opinion changes. But just do you, man. I'm telling you, man, don't let it bother you. Life is too short to worry about what other people think you. There's literally a book. What you think of me is none of my business. I mean, read it and enjoy it, man. Soak it in.
Hey, JT, what was the name of the channel you mentioned a little bit earlier? The Viking.
Oh, Ketoing Viking. And she doesn't have her name in there, but her name is Misty, and her channel is called Ketoing Viking. And she is a great woman, man. And she's actually going back to school. So she's one of these gals who, who's at a college, and she's maybe a little bit older than the other people at the college, but she's going back and she's doing studies on carnivore, her and Courtney. I just had Courtney on chatting with carnivores too. They're both doing their own tiny studies on the carnivore diet, and they're having the same thing as the Canadian, crazy carnivore Canadian. They're getting flack at their college from their professors and things about what they're studying and the stuff they're coming up with. That's going to happen. We're in this moment of change. And anytime there's a moment of change, those are growing pains, and you have to just stick to your guns, put the facts out there, and then let the chips fall where they will. And I feel like the momentum is shifting in, regardless of how many vegans are, the momentum is shifting in our direction. Even if you just look up the analytics, the post of carnivore videos is just through the roof right now.
Hey, before we take this one, I just want to say too, give us your best question. I think we did this last week and we got some good ones. Doesn't have to be carnivore, can't be carnivore, proper human diet, whatever. Nicholas Canada said, there's a girl I like who's vegan. I just want to comment on this too. I don't think it should be. I did a video before how I'm not going to eat vegetables and fruit, but I want to be clear. I love vegans. Like if you're eating the proper human diet and you're compassionate about animals and it's helping you, do whatever you want. That is
Emma
awesome.
was a vegan. You know what I'm saying? She is one of the sweetest girls out there.
It shouldn't be like us versus them. I think we're all on the same page. Mostly, if you're eating a proper human diet, I spoke to a woman the other day, JT, horrible bipolar depression. She overcame decades-long battle with mental health issues, doing a ketogenic diet, but the vegan version. That's wonderful. Like if you can get rid of the seed oils and the sugars, and you can do that. My thing is, I couldn't do that. My daughter Emma couldn't do that. Some people can't do that, but some people can do that. If they could do that, that's just great. It shouldn't be vegan versus carnivore. I'm almost leaning more towards just proper human diet. When we interview Dr. Barry, I'm going to ask him specifically, how are you defining that? And could that be vegetarian only? The only tricky part with the vegetables for me too is you still have a lot of pesticides and Roundup and forever chemicals that are saturated on those. And if you can't get it, if you can only go to the grocery store and get them, that's really not a proper human diet if you're eating those unnatural things in there. But then people can make the same argument with the meat. Some of the meat now we're getting too, despite our best efforts, this Roundup stuff is like ubiquitous. It's in the air. It's everywhere. Cows are breathing it in. Humans are breathing it in. So if you're doing the proper human diet, it's changing your life. That's awesome. It's better than 99% of people out there that have poor metabolic health and are eating sugar and processed foods and stuff like that.
And I'll say this, Gary, if you are on the vegan diet and you feel great, awesome, cool. Like more power to you. Like I'm not knocking you, but if you are on that diet and you feel great, but you get to the point where you don't feel so great, I just want you to know that carnivore diet could be an option for you to get back on track. But if you're on that stuff and you feel great, whatever, man, what am I supposed to say? I think we should all just focus on feeling great. And when you don't start to feel great, just know that you can get on carnivore and you can correct a lot of issues you have. So
Right.
that would be
Return
my
to
olive branch to the vegans.
100%. Return to natural. There's different paths to returning to natural. And if you take one and it doesn't work, you always have this as an
But
option.
you agree with me, right? You don't have a problem with someone who's on vegan and they feel good. If they're feeling good, I mean, how am I going to get mad that they're feeling good? You know what I'm saying? But
Exactly.
if you start to not feel good, just know that there is options, and people like us, we're a community here, and we're here for you if you just decide to come this route.
100%. And the thing I love with vegans, my daughter included, is most of them are that reason because they're compassionate. They got big hearts. That's a good, beautiful thing. Some of it goes astray, unfortunately. Some of the passion goes astray, and you miss some of the facts. But yeah, Dennis,
Dennis,
$20.
don't know.
Love your energy. Love your energy and sharing. The masses can't go 1 hour without having something to eat. Fung, Barry, Shafi, Rock. Yes. I think I know what he's saying there. That's how I was before. I'd eat breakfast, an hour later, I was hungry again. An hour later, I was hungry again. That's
Those carbs.
carbs, the sugar
Really
addiction.
satisfied on carbs, like that's, and then you eat more of them, and it maybe won't kill you that day, but it compounds, like Chafee says. You know, if I smoked a pack of cigarettes while we're on this live stream, I'm not going to die. But if I keep doing that every day, it's going to compound, and eventually I will get there. But it's because that's the thing. They're like, well, it's not killing me. Well, yeah, not right now, but those health effects are compounding in your body, and that's what we're trying to avoid.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you so much, Dennis, for that super chat. Appreciate it. That's one of the things I love about eating the proper human diet too. All that eating before, JT, think how much time we were wasting. Oh, go get me a snack. I need a granola bar. I gotta have some fruit. Now it's lunchtime. What's for dessert? Snack. It's like, today I'm gonna eat a big steak and maybe a couple patties, and that's it. So much freedom and additional time. I don't have to think about that stuff. How do you think corporate economy will take it if we destroy the need for bread, factories, pharma companies, and soy and almond products?
Oh man, that's a good one. I think that the world is always changing and growing. And think about it, like 300 years ago, there weren't no pharma companies and all these almond products and stuff like that, and bread factories. Everything changes as we change ourselves. As our minds change, the world changes, because we manifest, we make the world what it is. So if we can change our minds, we can change this world. And I think that they're going to have to change with us. And if they want to make money, they're going to have to come with us on this ride. They're going to have to do things differently, just like we're choosing different ideas and we're doing things differently. Everybody's going to have to grow. And that's the one thing you guys can bet on in your life, that everything changes. Nothing stays the same. Nothing. 300 years from now, there's going to be different carnivores on here talking, and none of us will be here. Everything changes, you guys, and we have to accept that. And that's one thing too about being a great leader. My coach taught me is you have to be willing to change, otherwise you're out. And same thing with them. They're going to go out of business if they don't change with us. So that is on them, and they have to choose to stay in business and change.
Yeah, 100%. Change is, everyone fears change. That goes back to that whole social norm discussion we had last week. But every big change that I've had in my life that I feared has always been a huge net positive. Like,
People fear change when it's forced upon them,
right,
but they accept change when they choose to change. There's two different changes. When they feel like it's being forced upon them, then they don't like change. That's
right.
why people get all upset when they're voting for a new president or something. They want it the same way. Doesn't matter what it is. If we accept the ideas and change, then it's a good thing. So they have to come to a point where they see their dollars going down and they say, hey, we have to pivot. We have to pivot because the people are changing. And if you don't pivot with them, you're out of business. So that's up to them. And it's up to us to lead the way and make that change and make them change.
Yeah. Replace all those with regenerative, proper farming. Back to natural.
Absolutely.
Nicholas, Canada, would you be willing to try raw dairy milk?
How about this? We'll try it when we go visit the Amish, because I'm sure they've got some raw milk on their farm. Would you agree, Gary?
I would. I My answer is yes, hesitantly. I had a big problem with dairy before this. But when I went to interview my neighbors, where we get a lot of our grass-fed beef from, natural, no pesticides, cows are just eating grass. I asked her, I said, I'm a rookie, like, teach me, what's the difference? I know kind of what the differences are, but I said, what are your thoughts on raw milk versus what you buy in the store? And she said the stuff in the store is, in her opinion, is horrible. She's like, it's so stupid.
Well,
She
some
said,
states actually don't even let you buy raw milk anymore. That's how much
yeah. Oh,
they're
they
trying
don't.
to control this narrative.
They have this special workaround. It's a long story, but they're able to get their own raw milk from their farm. They are. But she said you go to the store and they take the milk and they pasteurize it, they boil it, they take all the nutrients and vitamins out of it, and then they put synthetic vitamin D and stuff back into it afterwards. It's so unnatural and backwards. Her opinion was, she said, I used to drink that. I get a stomach ache all the time. And she said, I think the incidence of IBS or lactose intolerance is way higher than people realize, because they'll have milk and they'll just I just kind of feel kind of but then they just keep doing it over and over again and they think that's normal. And she says when she has raw dairy milk, it's just fine. I would be open to trying it, other than I had a lot of issues with the other type of milk. And my thing is, everything's working great, so I'm hesitant to experiment with anything. Like I foolishly said earlier, a piece of gum was freaking me out. So
You mean you don't want almond milk?
no, definitely don't want
You
that.
guys can explain to me, how do I take an almond and milk this thing?
Right.
I've been confused since I saw the commercials for almond milk. I'm like, I just hate to break you guys. I don't think almonds have nipples, and I don't think they can be milked. So this is not natural, and it's not milk.
JT, have you seen Meet the Parents?
Yeah, man. Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers. I've seen the whole thing, man. I love it, man.
What you were just saying reminded me of a scene in there where he was talking about how he milked the cat, and then the dad said, "What did he say?" He said, "Oh, you can milk anything with nipples." And then Robert De Niro said, "I have nipples. Can you milk me?"
That is true. That is true. I've been corrected.
That movie is hilarious. I recently rewatched that one. Anyways, getting a little off track here. You're right, though. I've said the same thing, JT. Where are you gonna get milk out of an almond? This stuff is so unnatural.
And they're milking more than almonds now, and it's not natural, and it's a joke too when they're trying to make vegetables look like meat. If meat is bad, why are you trying to make your product look like mine? I'm not trying to make my ribeye look like a piece of broccoli. Like my ribeye is beautiful when it's dripping and it's reverse seared. It's beautiful the way it is. God made it beautiful. I'm not trying to make something and pervert it into something it's not.
Shout out Rick. So JT, I always post on the side.
What does that mean, Rick? Will someone ever get a ribeye? What you talking about, bro?
I always post on the side when you're not looking. I like whoever puts the best question gets a ribeye. So Rick's like, when are we getting these ribeyes? Rick, when I'm down in Florida, we're gonna meet. I'm gonna get you a ribeye.
I cannot wait to visit Rick, man. I cannot wait. I think that's gonna be fun, dude. And man, hopefully, maybe I'll rent a bike and we can all. I think that'd be a great video, man. We go around biking around Miami with Rick. Who would love to see that, man? Me and Carrie hopping on the bikes with Rick. Let's go, Rick.
Yeah. Rick, you have a free ribeye coupon from me. When I'm down in Florida filming, we'll definitely do that. For everyone else, you're just going to have to wait until you hear the on the door and it's JT and me coming to cook you a steak.
Wouldn't that be fun if we knock on someone's door who's in this chat?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man.
Here's a good question.
Bikes. Okay, let's go, Rick.
Worthy Prince, what's your thoughts on fermented vegetables like sauerkraut? I looked it up, and apparently humans have been doing it since 8000 BC. It's fairly low carb, just thinking about something to add as a side.
And that stuff makes me fart, so I stay away from it, man. That's just I don't like farting all the time. So, but if you like sauerkraut, like I told you guys earlier, if what's his name? Man, he wore the pack and Ferrigno Freedom. He even said that he's been adding things back into his diet because he's using carnivore as an elimination diet. So if you're going to eat mostly carnivore, but you add in sauerkraut and it doesn't make you feel horrible, whatever, man. I don't think it's the end of the world, honestly. It's not the end of the world. So do you, man. If you feel good eating sauerkraut on carnivore, go for it. But if it's going to lead you to start putting all sorts of junk in, then maybe you want to stay away. But I also don't think it's wrong when you use carnivore as an elimination diet either. So there's different ways to approach the carnivore diet. You can either just be carnivore, or you could use it as an elimination diet and start bringing things in to see, what you kind of can tolerate, like a keto food. If you're going to eat something on keto that's not going to make you feel well, maybe get rid of it. So, it's your decision. What do you think, Carrie?
Yeah, I agree. For me, I would just be like, what's the reason why? I get everything I need with what I'm eating now: beef, butter, bacon, eggs. So I don't feel the need to add anything else. But if I did, that would probably be
Oh,
a
no,
good one.
beef, butter, and eggs. You don't eat the
Oh,
bacon.
right. Yeah, for 3 weeks now, no bacon. But for most of my carnivore journey, there was a lot of bacon involved. But yeah, for the last couple of weeks, I haven't. But yeah, I would just ask why, and just make sure you can answer that question, and hopefully it doesn't lead to anything else, sort of thing
Yeah,
that you don't need.
but you're the prince, man. Do you?
I made my first brown butter last night. It's so good. It's a little treat and added fat. Yeah, that's awesome. Emma made that
Tried
for
it yet.
my mom made that. She made brown butter bites that you put in the freezer, and they're really good. I got to get some of those again. It's really good to get your fat up. Another little tip for those new carnivores out there. People never get enough fat on carnivore. That's a good way to help supplement.
Absolutely. Oh, Adam's in here. What's up, Adam?
Shout out Carnivore Today, late to the party family. We're called Let's Raise the Stakes.
Let's raise the stakes.
Should we play it again? Where is it? I got to have it quicker.
Let's go raise the stakes. Let's go raise the stakes with Dietary and Carrie T. Let's go. Oh.
I love that, man. Let's go.
You don't have no idea how long that took either. I think I mentioned that last time, but it's just some AI program, and it kept saying, let's go. Oh. I had to like work in OHHHH, and then it didn't work, and I had to keep messing around with it.
Put a let's go in the comments, guys. Let's go. Yeah, there you go. Fast enough. Let's go. Love it.
Should we spin the wheel one more time?
Yeah, let's spin it, man.
All right, here we go.
I'm feeling dangerous. I'm feeling lucky.
Shout out again, Carnivore Cure, Michael, Lindy, for the wheel idea. I ripped off from them, but it's a pretty cool idea. All right, we're gonna spin it.
Ready? We're gonna spin it. Let's go.
Price is right. Let's go.
Let's go. Carnivore boss, I see you. Let's go.
Oh, this is JT all day.
Ooh. Frequency and vibration, man. That's something my coach always taught me. And just to talk on frequency, I put that in there just to kind of give you guys some cool tidbits that I learned from my coach that you might not get on other podcasts. Now, fun little frequency fun fact today. There's 11 dimensions, and our mind connects to 11 different dimensions. And when you think, your mind, it's called quantum entanglement. Your mind can go out there and entangle with information that's on the same frequency, and then they connect. So it's the same reason you can have people in two different parts of the world working on the same invention, and they've never talked to each other, never met each other. Because with the law of polarity, you can't have an up without a down, a question without an answer. So the information already exists somewhere in the universe. Your mind has to entangle with that, with your imagination. So yeah, it's just a fun fact. There's 11 dimensions, and our mind goes into each 11 dimensions to gather information, and then it's cool. We build that idea in our mind, and then it collapses into a 2D, two-dimensional, like a drawing. We collapse that imagination image, like this chair I'm sitting on. Someone thought of it, then collapsed it into a design, and then they formed it into a 3D product that we can use in our dimension. But it came originally from a different dimension. So just a fun frequency fact. Your mind can quantum entangle with other frequencies in that same frequency rate.
You talked about the law of polarity.
Yep.
Do you believe like life is a sort of zero-sum game? You're going to have some bad days, but it's going to equal out to good days. And in the very end, it's all going to balance out?
Even when you follow the natural laws, there's still going to be tragedies that happen. Unfortunately, that's life. But you can have 9 out of 10 of your days be phenomenal if you're in a great vibration, because you attract what you're in vibration with. Like that, the law of attraction is a secondary law to the primary law, which is the law of vibration. And whatever you're in vibration and frequency with, that's what you attract. Like, just think of a cell phone here. I have Carrie's number. Carrie's number is a frequency. Me and him are friends, and he gave me his frequency so we can stay connected. And it doesn't matter if he's in Switzerland or Montello. Their space and time are an illusion. We're all atoms on a same sheet of like let's say piece of paper, I guess you could say. We're all literally connected to the same thing. But when you get on each other's frequency, then you can connect really easy. So that's why you can literally FaceTime someone in Switzerland, and you guys are right, because there really is no space and time. So I do think in the end, yeah, it'll probably be better, not even out. It's going to be better in your favor than you ever could imagine. And you want to get in frequency with all sorts of knowledge, because when you die, you can't take any physical possessions with you, but you can take your awareness with you to the next experience.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So tomorrow when we're knocking on doors, we got to get in that good frequency. What if we do it again in the first person?
That's what they picked up, Carrie. That's
right.
If me and you had intentions to rob them and kill them, they would pick up on that. That we would be giving off those vibrations. That's why there's no way. And then when you're trying to sell someone a steak, they might not answer the door because they can feel those vibrations from the other side of the door that you're trying to sell them something, and they're not interested to buy at the moment. And that's the cool thing. When we're knocking on doors, we're excited. We're together. We're having fun. We're healing humanity. And they pick up on all those positive vibrations, and they don't get that every day. And they're like, man, I don't know what it is, but I'm going to let them into my house. They're going to cook me dinner.
Hopefully they're not going to kill me.
Yeah. I'm feeling something that I don't feel from other people. And that's our intuition. Our intuition is like our vibration frequency reader. If you can always tell, even a dog can tell, man, when you come in the house and you're pissed off, the dog even knows. Like, it's all energy, it's all frequencies, and that's why we're going to be successful at knocking on doors, because they feel our energy. Our intentions, our hearts are in the right place. For
sure. Can you remember what was the pitch we were practicing before? I need to get ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, we're carnivore. We're on the carnivore diet, and we're looking for a family that we can cook a steak dinner for. It's really as simple as that, man.
Right? Just the truth, right?
That's the truth. Yeah.
It's life is so much easier. You don't have to memorize things when you just tell the truth all the time.
Absolutely.
Someone did Carrie say why no bacon? I don't think there's anything wrong with bacon. I got to be careful talking about bacon because I always get this comment. What's wrong with bacon? What's wrong with you? I was just having too much. You can have too much of anything.
Be careful, though. I do want to just put it out there. There is sugar in some of the bacon you eat.
That's true.
It's some bacon and it tastes very sweet, even though it doesn't say. And I'm telling you, they don't put it on the back of the package, but there's just no way that bacon could be that sweet. So if you get like maple bacon and you look on the back, you're like, oh, it says no sugars. I hate to tell you, man, there's sugars in there. There's just no way they can serve you maple bacon with no sugar. Right. So just be careful. Okay, guys?
100%. Yeah, Emma would make some bacon up and she'd make like 5 pieces. And I'm like, what are you doing? Just cook the whole thing. Why are you just doing 5? But then she'd cook the whole thing. And then I'd eat 5 pieces. I'd be like, oh, I'll have another. And then it was like back in the day when I was addicted to diet soda. I'm like, I'm eating a whole pound of bacon. I'm like, oh, this isn't good.
See, I eat bacon until I'm full. Bacon is a food that I don't like, it's not like a carb for me where I just kind of, I eat the whole pack, but then I do feel full after it. So it's not like I ate the whole pack and I'm like, man, I need another pack. If that was the case, then I'd say, yeah, maybe I should stay off the bacon. But
it's like cigarettes. How many packs a day? I'm doing 2 packs a day now.
And they're like, of what? Like, oh, bacon.
Right.
See, that's the carnivore life, man. How many packs a day you doing, man?
I had a couple days in there where it was 2. Like, I'd make one in the morning and then Emma would come home from school and make another one. But she'd only eat 4 pieces and it's sitting there and you're smelling the bacon. So yeah. And the other thing with bacon is, again, Dr. Barry's done videos on this, like go for it. Like, but JT said, there's sugar in some of it. You got to be careful, nitrates, whatever, other stuff. Some people have issues with bacon too, because they just do better with ruminant animals. I feel so much better when I'm just eating beef because a cow has multiple chambered stomach. And by the time you get the nutrients out of the meat, there's like nothing left in it. Where as you eat bacon, you may be eating something that animal, that pig ate, that could be affecting autoimmune disorders, stomach issues, things like that. So I feel better now eating the bacon. I kind of miss it. It was becoming a problem, but I'm not saying there's
someone said
anything.
it, beef bacon for the win. You can have your bacon and it can be clean meat. So beef bacon for the win, guys.
Shout out JT for teaching me about beef bacon. And then I was talking to Bill a while back. I'm like, I gotta just do it. That'd be an awesome YouTube video.
Am I allowed to bring bacon on the plane for Bill if I brought him a pack of that good beef bacon?
That's a good question. I don't know on that one. I have a feeling no.
Like they're gonna stop me and be like, yo, why you got this bacon, man?
If it's cooked, they might be like, give me a piece. Question, I need more ideas of what to eat tasty and less expensive than ribeye and New York strips in the red meat category. Can you help?
Yeah, I would just look for different cuts of steak. Like I like skirt steak. Skirt steak's good. Just look for different cuts of beef. And also if you're in the red meat category and you want some, you might have to get kind of curious, man, because there's not a lot of people buying cow tongue. There's not a lot of people buying beef heart. There's not a lot of people eating the tripe. Do you guys know what the tripe is? That's the lining of the stomach. Then there's you ever had the what is it called? Something bread, sweet breads. It's not sweet and it's not a bread. It's like it comes from the pancreas of the cow, but they call it sweet breads. I don't know. Don't ask me why. But those are things that you can try because I'm working on a video right now. It'll probably come out next Friday about foods that you can eat on the carnivore diet. And if you're looking to save money, I know it's not red meat, but chicken is usually always on sale. And if you get the stuff with the skin on it, thighs and legs, and then put it in some beef tallow, man, that is the heart attack chicken that me and Rick make. It's delicious. And when you cook your food in tallow, it actually helps you burn visceral belly fat. So it's like, man, eat some heart attack chicken, save some money, and burn some visceral fat. How could you go wrong on this diet, man? Love it.
Ground beef is another one.
Yeah. Yep.
I've recently fallen in love with again. I used to have it a lot on and off. I have it every day now. I'll have ground beef with scrambled eggs. It's like I used to have the Power Bowl, beef, butter, bacon, eggs. Don't have the bacon anymore, so it's just ground beef, scrambled eggs. The trick with ground beef that I found is the texture. Some people don't like the texture. I used to get sick of the texture.
Make it thin and crisp it like Culver's. Make
exactly.
it thin and it gets crispy, man.
That's my go-to. I get it crispy, and then at the end, add some Kerrygold butter in on it. Nice crispy edges. Oh, it's delicious. So I pretty much have that every single day. You can't get any less expensive than
just got a question for everybody. Me and my wife just made what we call Juicy Lucy burgers. Have you guys ever had a Juicy Lucy? I'm just curious. And do you guys know what a Juicy Lucy burger is? Because it actually is something that Minnesota started. And you just take cheese curds. You take a patty, slap the cheese curds in the middle, slap another patty on it, seal the edges, and then you cook that thing. And man, when you bite in that thing, all this cheese curd, just melted cheese curd comes right out, and it's called a Juicy Lucy. And you can use that, like look for some cheese curds and some sale ground beef and make yourself a Juicy Lucy this weekend.
Dennis, $10. Thank you, Dennis. Generous.
I got him with Jeff. I don't know if Canada will let me into the country. I've got to find that out. But if they do, man, I would love to.
Come knock on doors in Canada. People are so friendly here. And I met here, and you met the 82-year-old lady. She's an icon. She needs to get her channel up and running. Yeah, he's talking about Maggie. She's amazing. She's on Instagram pretty actively. It's tough doing
She's
YouTube.
A ranter, man, not a YouTuber. So just give her some lenience, man. She's doing the best she can.
But I think I mentioned that to Jeff, and he's like, yeah, we're doing it. Let's go knocking on doors in Canada. Just like you said, Dennis, people are so friendly here, 100%. I know I've said this before, but Jeff is the prime example of that. I still, every time I need a smile, JT, I think about that time we went to the McDonald's drive-thru with Jeff, and we pull up to the drive-thru, and he says, sorry, we're carnivores here. He apologized to the drive-thru person.
Hey, we're going to really make a dent in your patties, right? Your beef patties here for the day. Sorry about this, but, we're carnivores.
Right? 32 patties, one order. Yeah, Canadians are amazing. I'm so blessed. We've been there twice now. I can't wait to get back. But, yeah, oh, God, that'd be so fun going with Jeff. Jeff, JT, some people are like, oh, you guys got so much energy. It's carnivore, whatever. Jeff has incredible energy. It's just, he's talking to everyone. It's so cool. Like, we're going to eat somewhere. He's like, okay, come on over here. Let's tell you about my carnivore thing. Like, he's talking to everyone. It's the coolest thing.
I feed off of Jeff's energy, man, and people like that. I feed off of your energy. Like, that's that. And I hope people are feeding off of my energy. We can feed off of each other's energy. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think it's a beautiful thing.
Alaskan Carnivore. Costco sells sugar-free bacon and tastes as good as any other, in my opinion. So check
Let's
out Costco.
go. Thanks for the tip, you guys. Go to Costco.
Bill said you better bring a suitcase of bacon, not just a pack.
Let's go, man. I love Bill, man. Bill, I'm gonna hook you up. There's a local beef farm. They just make incredible beef bacon. So I'm gonna.
Hey, make meatloaf.
Hey, I gotta get her on my channel.
I was gonna see if anyone noticed. This is my sister.
That's his sister, yo. And
life and DIY.
Holly, because when I wanted some dirt on Carrie, when I interviewed Carrie, I said I don't want to just talk carnivore. I want to really get in Carrie's ass. And so his sister really gave me some not bad dirt, because obviously Carrie isn't some thuggeroni, but she gave me some funny stuff that they did as a kids. And you guys should watch that interview I did with Carrie because she gave me some good dirt. It was fun.
Yeah, shout out my sister Holly, Life and DIY.
That's how you finally admitted you used to sell steaks door to door. Otherwise, I never heard you talking about it until I opened that door. Brought
back some memories. Holly's a fellow carnivore. She's been having issues sleeping on carnivore. I've heard a couple other people say that. In fact,
she needs to work out more. You're not working out enough. You're not exercising enough. You've got too much extra energy, and you've got to burn that off. When you're fat and out of shape, like your body has no need to exercise. But on carnivore, if you're staying up till 2, 3 in the morning, you got to do some exercise, girl. You are working out. Double the workouts. Let's go.
Triple them, quadruple them.
Chafee says listen to Chafee. He says it's really hard to wear himself out on carnivore. Like, I think it's a great problem to have, where you're just like, man, I am working out. I'm trying, go harder. Maybe it's your body asking you to add some more on.
Primal Mike, do you track anything? I only track the massive food. I don't ever want to go below 1 kg. I'm having about 2.5 pounds on my OMAD nowadays and lots of fat to already fatty cuts of meat.
I track how many packs a day I'm having, man. That's about it, man.
Bacon packs.
I don't track nothing, and I'm losing weight and feeling great. What about you, Carrie?
Yeah, same. That's why I love carnivore. Even when I did keto, I had to track and count carbs and run calculations. This is so much easier. I don't track anything. Just listen to my body. If I'm a little hungry, I'll eat a little bit more, but
yeah, I feel like tracking your food and stuff there's nothing wrong with you're doing just to make sure you're getting enough meat. That's fine. But tracking in general just reminds me of like Weight Watchers and stuff.
How about an Alaskan meetup when you guys are in the state? It's a great idea.
Let's go, man. And I'm telling you, I've never been to Alaska. I'm looking forward to just seeing the state and getting to meet Bill and make these memories and just make these connections. So that sounds really fun, actually.
Primal Mike, shout out. I recently put on some good amount of muscle like crazy. Still have about 100 pounds of mass to go to reach Dr. Baker. Just kidding. That is awesome, Mike. Mike gave us a testimonial for the 24-hour live stream, and he said, I am getting stronger and stronger every day. And it was a really a touching and emotional testimony. Mike's awesome. Good job, buddy. And Mike, did you do it? Did it come up yet? Mike is the one that's going to be doing the polar plunge, or did the polar plunge. I don't think it happened yet. Is it coming up, Mike? I was so close to going out there and doing that. It's so hard to get away on a Saturday.
I'm trying to add muscle mass too. So do your best, man.
32 patties. How much was that? Adam, are you in the chat? Do you remember? I can't remember. It was pretty inexpensive. I think they were cheaper there. I want to say they were like $1.25 each or something. Maybe $1. Yeah. Adam's probably in the chat. I think he'll remember. Mike said, if you order 32 patties, I take half of it myself. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can eat tons of meat now. As getting farther into my carnivore diet, I eat way more meat than when I started. That's for sure.
Have these two knocked on any more doors of strangers and served them steak tomorrow? It's happening tomorrow.
Carrie's and Carrie says he's knocking on the first door. I hope he doesn't mess this up.
No pressure.
No,
I got the
you can't
frequency.
mess it up.
I got the frequency, and I have protection too.
Hey, thanks to Bill Knott.
We got lots of bacon comments. Smithfield, low sodium bacon has no sugar. Holly's making meatloaf at the moment. I haven't had meatloaf. She said she's working out.
Yet.
She needs more. Anyone else have that situation? Holly does work out a lot, so I don't know if your advice or JT work out more and more.
Double down on it.
Triple down. I wonder if there's something else though, because I do get that from a lot of people. If anyone else is, oh, she said it's getting better.
Meditating too. It sounds like you might benefit to put your body in a more relaxed state, because you might still be caught in that high frequency energy before you're going to bed. So maybe try meditating.
Eat some butter before you go to bed and you'll sleep better. I've heard Dr. Chafee talking about eating before bed, which seems counterintuitive, but I think it's kind of different chemistry when you're carnivore.
Butter and better are. You think that's for a reason?
Right.
Butter makes everything better. They're so close to each other.
Oh, Adam, shout out to Holly. Check out Steak and Butter Gang. Their coaches are doing some amazing things over there. I will second and third and triple that. I have no affiliation with them or incentive to promote them. I just like to speak the truth. And I have had so many people tell me they've had great results with Steak and Butter Gang coaching. My buddy, Chad, he said he's like, I'm not exaggerating. I joined every single group, and Steak and Butter Gang by far was the best. They have so many different coaches for different situations. I'm sure they could probably help answer some of those sleep questions. I want to know the answer to some of those sleep questions. Maybe it's just exercise like JT. I don't know. Holly said hers is getting better, but I've had a couple people ask me that in the comments recently.
Meditation, help put yourself in a more calm, relaxed frequency.
Any tips on getting in contact with local farmers to volunteer? I assumed a quick Google search would work, but I haven't found much so far. I have more time for a bit, but would love to help out.
That would be my type in grass-fed beef near me. There's got to be something that comes up, even if it's kind of, you might have to go a little bit farther than I go. But when I Googled grass-fed beef near me, I found 15 different local beef farms, and I've only been to 2 of them so far, and they've welcomed me with open arms. I've featured them on my channel, and this year when things warm up a little bit, I'm going to go to those other ones too. So drive around, maybe find a farmer, ask them if you have a dairy farm by you, talk to them. They might be friends with someone who has a beef farm. Just do what you got to do. And even if you can't find a beef farm, help out at a dairy farm. There's still cows, man. They like, as long as you're helping the planet, I think you're doing good.
Yeah. Maybe check like a local Facebook group or something like that too. Get the word out. There's probably someone local that could help. Shout out Rhett too, Carnivore Brothers. Those guys are awesome. Ashley and Rhett, I had them on the channel before.
Me too. They're good.
Bill, I hope you get your rebounder soon. Bill has this rebounder. It's like a trampoline thing coming in.
Oh, nice. Man, last time I was on a trampoline was at Carrie's house.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I'm like a big kid, man. If I see a trampoline, I'm on it. If I see a zip line, I'm going down it.
Did you do the zip line? I can't remember.
Yeah, man. Remember, I had to hold my ass up so I didn't hit the ground.
Right. Yeah.
And I went all the way up and then came back. That was fun.
A knock on the door of a new carnivore could also be interesting. That would be awesome. Or if they're doing keto.
Knock on a vegan's door.
Right.
And then not just to argue, but to see if they would actually try to have a dinner with us, just to hear us out, and we can, just hear each other out, just for one meal, even if it's only one meal. What if
they said to you, JT, you can come and cook me dinner. I will eat your steak, but you have to eat my vegetables.
I would say, I'll take one bite. I ate your vegetables, okay? But then I want my steak too.
Yeah, let's switch plates around now.
Even for them, I'd say, hey, I don't care if you have a thing of vegetables there, but if you could take one bite of steak and I'll take one bite of vegetables, I feel like that's a compromise. It's like thwarting a war. It's like, like two factions come together. There's got to be some give and take.
Alaskan Carnivore energy is off the charts on Carnivore. I can never imagine going backwards. I can build muscle and strength with minimal effort and feel amazing. That's awesome.
That's TNT, man. That's dynamite.
Dynamite. Mike says, my meal is usually 6 p.m. and I go to sleep about 9.
Nice. Yeah. See, and Mike, do you have any tips on if someone's feeling a little energetic before bed, how they could relax a little bit more and get to sleep? If you got any tips, put it in the comments. Yeah, we can do condos too. We go anywhere. We got lots of ideas. We just haven't got to them yet, you guys. We can only really take this thing like one weekend at a time. And it's really good content, though. Like the stuff me and Carrie got planned for this year. It's amazing stuff.
Yeah, and if you have other ideas, by all means, we get some of the best ideas from the community. So put them in the side. We've been talking about doing some crazy stuff, but yeah,
We'll
tomorrow's gonna
find
be
out
fun.
when we drop the next video. Maybe something we got in planned. If they can make it happen, we'll see.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
up to you guys. It's going to be a surprise. You guys can make us do something we maybe don't want to do. We'll see when we get there.
Shout out Hanging with the Browns, G and Frederick. Those guys are awesome. How you guys doing?
Oh,
Knock on their door. G,
yeah,
so
yeah. Let's
G,
go.
G just jumped in here, or it's Frederick, or both of you. Tomorrow, JT and I are knocking on doors of strangers in my hometown here, and seeing if they'll let us come inside and cook them some steaks.
Now we doing Montello or Portage? Because I said Montello, you said Portage.
I'm thinking Portage, just because if we get someone, the grocery stores are all in Portage. We have to go out there anyway, and there's
never
more
been
to choose from. I'm living in such a small town here, so
I still think we can get lucky in Montello, though.
yeah, we could try both. Either way, we got to head out to the grocery store.
I just think, man, if me and you are on their porch, man, there's just no way that we're gonna get turned down.
Man, if we had enough time to stop over by my Amish buddy's house too, that'd be fun.
I'll leave earlier. I'll make it happen. I honestly, even my wife's off on Monday, so I have like the entire freaking weekend, man. So let's get it, man.
Let's go. Awesome. What do we got here? Since I got here late, did you do a carnivore quiz yet today? I think that's quiz.
I don't know, but we did spin the wheel twice. I suppose you can spin it again if you want.
One more spin. Let's go. We'll go one more spin.
What do you
here.
guys think? One more spin, you guys?
We had Frequency was
Hopefully
the winner
you guys
last time.
enjoyed that little tidbit from Frequency. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it.
Here we go. Big money, big money.
Come on, Wheel of Fortune. Ooh, wisdom. Carrie, you got this one. You're full of it, man.
Wisdom. Just got to riff on wisdom. All right. Well, I've said this before, but there's new people on here. One of the things that the girls, again, I got to shout out Todd Bachman's Carnivore Cure for the Wheel idea. Totally ripped it off from them. On the wisdom thing, I always tell my girls, the most important thing in the world, your decisions. Your life is a result of, I got to make a shirt on that, JT. Your life is a result of the decisions you make. I really believe that. And the way you can make better decisions is by wisdom. I shared that book with you. Talks about if I could increase my wisdom by 1%, that would be worth more than all of the gold and silver in the world. I really believe that. Wisdom. Solomon. Yeah. Wisdom is so important. Yeah. So wisdom. And then there's another part to it that JT taught me on our last call. Intuition. You got to listen to your intuition. Intuition will drive your decisions and wisdom will. Those are like the two big things. Of course, knowledge as well. But yeah, like having wisdom is so valuable. And it's something that I think so many people, they don't even think about on a regular basis. And we can get wisdom from each other. We can get wisdom from books. We can get wisdom from JT's coach. A lot of wisdom we can get from our elders, people that have already been through life and experienced things. I think that's where I've gotten some of the best wisdom in my life. So yeah, I don't know. You got anything else to add to wisdom, JT? You got a lot. I said this on our last thing. The crazy thing with JT is you're wise beyond your years.
You know, wisdom, it's just awareness. That's what it is. And when you have fear or, you're unsure about something, or you're nervous or you're scared, it's just because you don't have enough information on it. And you just got to raise your awareness. And when you raise your awareness, that's something that nobody can take from you. Nobody anywhere. Even if they put you in a torture camp and tortured you, they couldn't make you think one thing you didn't want to think. And I think that is so important. So just make it a goal to, always be learning, always be growing. My coach, when he was 87, a year before he died, someone was like, "Oh, you know so much," and he's like, "I don't know nothing, man." He's like, "I'm in kindergarten," because knowledge is infinite. Nobody. Everybody in this world is ignorant. Every single person, and ignorance just means you don't know something. There's not one person in the world who knows everything in every book. Therefore, we're all ignorant, and it's our goal to try to eliminate as much ignorance as we can and raise our awareness, because that's really all you can take with you into the next journey. So, man, read some books, share some, listen to people's stories, and you can learn something from everybody, even if it's something you would never do. They tell you something, you're like, oh, I would never do that. Good, learn from them. Like there's something to learn from everybody, and that's the beautiful part about life, man. There's always something to do, something to learn, some stone to uncover. You just got to be looking for it. But if you think everything's been done and there's nothing to learn, yeah, life is going to seem real boring. But when you look at it in a different way and get excited about lifting up rocks, like remember as a kid, you lift up a rock and you wanted to see what's under there. There's beetles and worms and stuff, and you were like, whoa. That we have to find that again, because it's still out there. That energy, that excitement, that magic, it's always been there. And as a kid, you're just more in tune with it. And we get beat down when we the Canadian carnivore was saying, these people around you beat you down and they want you to stop thinking. Never do that, man. Keep that imagination, keep that magic, and keep learning.
And I'll just add one thing to that. The beautiful thing is, in this day and age, we have unlimited, unprecedented access to information that we didn't before. So to JT's point, just look for it. Yeah, use this for good. Even on YouTube, there's so much bad stuff with YouTube, but there's an incredible amount of wisdom you can
I've
gain
learned
just
so
from
much,
YouTube.
even what to do with my firewood ash, man. I learned on YouTube, man. So
there you go. All right, we got one more question here, and then we'll wrap her up. Carnivore Boss, what's your favorite carnivore book?
I don't have any carnivore books yet, but I do want to read Get Off My Operating Table. That and I don't know if that's specifically a carnivore book or not, but that's something I hear a lot of carnivores talk about that they read that I would like to put on my list. So hopefully that helps you out. But otherwise, I know Dr. Sean Baker literally has a book on the carnivore diet. So
shout out. Yeah, I've read Sean Baker's book and it was really good, especially even just the beginning, the bio about his history and his life before carnivore. That guy has an incredible, he could write an autobiography that would have been interesting. I'm so glad you asked this question. You win the ribeye today. This one, shout out. I guess carnivore book, this, in my opinion, is a proper human diet book. Change your diet, change your mind. This wasn't a planted question. Someone genuinely asked, and this is genuinely my answer. This book, most of my adult life, having depression and anxiety, I was looking for the answers that were simply in this book. I would have given anything to have this book when I was had the worst depression and I was on all this medication that was completely unnecessary. Dr. Ede, this book comes out on the 30th. We're doing the live stream with her. She gave me an advance copy. I couldn't stop reading it, and I teared up reading it, just thinking there are so many people in the world right now that are hopelessly depressed and they have anxiety, schizophrenia. Like the rates of these mental health issues, they're skyrocketing. Autism, ADHD, they're all just going up, and it's slowly become the new normal. But I really, truly believe the answer to almost all of those problems, they're right in this book. They're literally in this book. She did such a good job with this book. It's so well done. When you talk about the proper human diet, you get arguments against it. You get things that you second guess, and you got to do more research. She's compiled all of that in here. You have it all in one resource. It's even got recipes and plans in the end of it. So again, I sound like I'm a salesman for this book. I could put my Amazon affiliate up there and get some. I'm not doing that. I'm not getting a penny. I have no affiliation whatsoever. I'm simply passionate about this book because I really believe it would have changed my life forever had I found it when I had the deep, hopeless depression. I know it's going to change millions of lives out there. So I'm all about elevating her voice and getting the message out there. And I love it too, JT, because it's a similar mission and goal as what we're doing with the Healing Humanity documentary. We're trying to help the hopeless. That's what this book is going to do. They're just different mediums and different ways of reaching people. So shout out to Dr. Georgia E. This book is coming out on the 30th, but you can go on Amazon and pre-order it now if you want to.
Yep, your next level of awareness is locked in that book. If you want to raise your awareness to the next level, it's locked in that book.
100%. Yeah, I'm gonna buy a whole bunch of the books and just here you go, pass them out to anyone that's even has an inkling of anxiety or mental health issues, because that's the solution in there. It's a life-changing, world-changing solution in that book. I'm not just saying that for flattery. I truly believe that. So great question, Carnivore Boss. You win the ribeye today. Let us know where we can get you get you a ribeye. We're gonna have to go knock on the carnivore boss's door next.
And speaking of ribeyes, man, I just want to give a quick plug. If you guys go to my channel, by the time this podcast is over, you guys can go to my channel. The video will be out by the time this is over. I made bacon wrapped steak fingers, which were, bacon wrapped ribeye, because of Bill. Bill put me onto that, and I made it for my son. My son loved it. My wife loved it. And you guys could check out that video. And hopefully you guys this weekend try to make some bacon wrapped steak fingers inspired by Bill Knott. Let's go, Bill. Thank you for that recipe. My son loves it, buddy.
Shout out. Awesome. Shout out Bill Knott. Shout out JT. Link to JT's channels in the description below. Thank you all for joining us. This is fun, JT. Number 2 done. I can't wait for tomorrow, buddy. This is going to be crazy. So stay tuned. JT's channel, my channel. We got another knocking. If you don't hear from us, by the way, early next week, send a search party out. We're at someone's house in Portage.
Someone's house, and they're like force feeding us vegetables. You guys, help! Help!
We're in the basement of someone's house. Well, if that happens, I'm sure if we have reception on our phone, we'll definitely do a live stream. Let you know.
Honestly, I don't think a vegan is gonna overpower a carnivore, but you never know, man. It might be a really big vegan. Who knows? But
nice. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you, JT. Appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Have a great day.
Thanks, guys. Love you. Goodbye.